Dools, we've been more cops for a full year and it's time to celebrate. This week, nobody was safe from Ricky, the Golden Globes, plus Christian Bale entering the MCU. Plus we also go through our movies of 2019 and also talk to you guys. Dools, roll the intro.
Welcome. No, you take it away. You know what you're doing.
What's up, everybody? This, of course, is your daily, your weekly, and your monthly dose of the More Cops on Duty. Like that, Dools, by the way?
I do, yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, of course, Harry. With me, of course, is my partner in crime, Edward Dools Dooley.
I think it's apt because we really don't have a fixed schedule, and
we don't.
You know, it's
we've missed months at a time.
For our myriad of fans out there, you know, I can imagine how frustrating it is not knowing anything about when we're gonna post, and you know, we're working to improve on that. And who am I kidding? Who's even listening to this thing?
But Dools, we have exactly what you're saying there. Like, we're a bit, irregular to say the least. We're up to episode 34, I believe, or 35, and we've been on the air for a year. So there's a year anniversary, Dools.
Yes.
What's been your highlight?
From the year?
Yeah.
Oh man, just, we've just been... We always say it's a golden age of cinema. And
it's true.
This year has just been... There's been some serious disappointments in the TV and film spheres. But at the same time, I feel like it's been uplifted by... pleasant surprises that have come out of nowhere, and just like, and then also like, accomplished directors who have just, delivered yet another unbelievably impressive entry into their own filmography. So
like Jumanji 2.
Jumanji 2, the next level. I mean, what can I say? I mean, if we're already getting into the movie of the year conversation, let's just start right there. And no. Just that really has been an outstanding year in film. And this is going to be one to remember.
Absolutely.
And an incredibly tough one to beat.
Yeah, if we think back on it, we had the end of Avengers, we had the last Skywalker Star Wars film, we had a Scorsese film,
Tarantino.
A Tarantino, we had a John Wick 3,
Yep.
We had another Toy Story, we had Frozen 2, we had a live creation, even though it's not really live, of The Lion King. We had It Chapter 2. It's like we've got a sizable year.
I mean, that tells you, like, there were a lot of strong, independent, original films that will, that's, one of them, which is a foreign film, which we're going to talk about later. It's just came out of nowhere, and you'd be hard pressed to find someone who wasn't blown away by that film that we're going to talk about. From the films that you just listed, it might sound like we've got a serious case of sequelitis and franchise-itis, whatever. But I mean, it seems like for the most part, we're getting really strong entries.
Yeah.
In that stuff. Marvel is still firing on all cylinders. We even forgot Captain Marvel and Spider-Man: Far From Home, which were excellent.
Excellent.
And Far From Home especially, because that was the first post-Endgame film, and it was only a few months removed. It's like, oh god, can they follow up? And it's like, yeah, they can, because they're all different.
Yeah.
And they all have their own little feeling to them. So
It was like years ago where Spielberg said that people are going to get fatigued of superhero films, but Marvel did it right because they didn't make it all one genre.
Yeah.
Every film's different, like espionage, they got disaster films, they were trying to go into a horror realm before Scott Derrickson left.
I was about to say, So that we'll just quickly touch on that. I guess that news broke this week.
What do you think?
So Scott Derrickson took to Twitter to pretty much say, due to creative differences, Marvel and I have amicably parted ways. I'm not going to direct Doctor Strange 2 anymore, but he's staying on as executive producer, which is a kind of a nothing role. If we're being honest,
the only producer in the room is Kevin Feige. So
that is a shame, because it was first announced by Kevin, actually, at I think when the film was first announced at I think New York Comic Con last year. that this would be the MCU's first horror film, and that's what he said. That's how
But
he
he kept
described it.
backtracking himself because he's like, the first horror film.
But yeah, I
but
think
it's still PG-13.
Yeah, and I think in the months to follow, he'd kind of been asked more about that and be like, oh, so what's a Marvel horror film going to look like, blah blah blah, and then until he finally said, I think the last thing he said about it was, it's not really a horror film in quotes kind of thing, and so that's a shame. And then I think a few months later from that, Scott Derrickson leads the project. So,
like, even last week he was doing interviews about it, saying, yeah, we're going down the really horror route.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame because I think Scott Derrickson probably wanted to get, like, because he's a guy who did Sinister and I think a few other things. So yeah, he probably would have wanted to get real serious with it and probably got excited by the fact that Kevin was on board with a horror film.
Yeah.
And I think I think there's room for an interesting horror film that is still PG-13. I think it's possible to do.
Yeah.
It's just you just make it very atmospheric. Well. I think the only things that make horror films get them the MA and R ratings is the gore and other things, whatever else it is. You can still make something very scary, I believe. Yeah. I think it's possible. Like Hereditary could have been M if it weren't for
like 4 scenes.
Yeah, like that shit towards the end mainly, and the beheading.
Yeah, if we're being honest.
But like I arguably would have had just as much impact without showing the head. Actually, yeah. If you think about it, but
I think the more horrific bit is the screams.
So
if you've seen Hereditary,
that's a shame. I liked the first Doctor Strange quite a bit. Will we be able to really see what his impact on leaving the film has? I don't know. We'll find out. But True. Anyway, I think Marvel, they're yet to really have a big fuck up. So I, for the time being, do trust Kevin Feige. I trust him.
No, so, like again,
people are already quick to like say like, oh, Kevin's, he's fucking up in the MCU. It's like, really?
Yeah,
really.
Like directors have left projects, like even midway through production, like Edgar Wright leaving Ant-Man, and that.
Well, I don't think they'd started shooting yet, but yeah.
But Peyton, but like that still turned out brilliant. I think not brilliant, like very good.
Yeah, and there was definitely some of his DNA in that first film.
100%.
Because I personally think the second one was slightly weaker.
The whole Michael Pena narration sort of joke, that is 100% Edgar Wright.
100%.
Dools, to touch on just the stuff that we were talking about in the intro, talking about MCU, Christian Bale. Rumored to come to Thor 4. Taika Waititi's Thor
Love and Thunder. So, I don't know. Some people just like, there's no way he'll play a CGI character. It's like, well, that's almost like saying there's no way he'll join Marvel. I think he'll do whatever the fuck the fucking check tells him to do. You know what I mean? I have a feeling he's the kind of person to not want to be tied down by a fucking notorious Marvel 10-film contract.
He's already done a trilogy, a superhero trilogy.
So I think he might be lured in by a one-and-done role. So he's probably the villain. And he's probably a throwaway, unfortunately, as are most Marvel villains. But I mean, they'll still be cool.
Like Cate Blanchett was awesome.
Yeah, I thought Cate Blanchett was dope. And I think there's still room for her to come back if she wants. And maybe they'll do the same with him. I think hopefully they don't kill him off just in case there is room for him to come back. Pipe dream though, Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Let's do it.
That'd be so
Let's
sick.
Fucking do it. He can't be one and done, hopefully. So
no, he's Christian fucking Bale.
So yeah.
Do you reckon there's a Batman joke in there?
I think
there has to be something alluding to it.
Oh, why? Yeah, Thor could be like, oh, why are you so dark and brooding all the time? It's just like, oh, is this person in another life or something? I don't know, something stupid.
Something like that.
And there's definitely a real deal headline in there somewhere if we can dig.
Yeah, 110%. I think I sent you one as well that I thought would be funny.
And there's definitely one for Kevin Feige, and like Kevin Feige. And it's just like, no, we decided not to make it a horror film anymore. It said Kevin Feige as he tugged his blanket or something. Something
like that. Yeah, I feel you.
We're workshopping live here, boys.
Other point to touch on. Did you watch the Golden Globes?
Did I watch the 3-hour-long Golden Globes award ceremony? Fuck no.
Did you watch
the highlights?
Did you watch the monologue?
Yes, twice.
How good is that monologue? No one was safe.
Joe Pesci is Baby Yoda.
That was good. There was so many good one-liners.
If they ever decide to recast.
I love the Leonardo DiCaprio line.
Oh, yeah.
They said that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is almost 3 hours long. It's so long that by the time the premiere had ended, Leo's girlfriend was too old for him.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Leo himself loved that. He couldn't.
Oh,
he
man.
couldn't contain it. So it was he was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It was where he said the bit about Scorsese with how he was describing Marvel movies as theme parks, and he said, why are you hanging around theme parks? You're too short to get on any of the rides.
Yeah.
And the camera goes to Scorsese. He goes, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, fair point.
Oh man, he let loose. He
really did. I think the main takeaway was that he was just at the end. He was like, look, people are sick of your politicized opinions and your outspoken beliefs or whatever. Like you're actors. Like you know. You don't know what it's like to be a real person anymore. Blah blah blah. And
yeah, you take a
it's just
private
like
jet.
If you win an award tonight, great. You come up, you thank your agent and your God, and then you fuck off. I mean, just with such. I mean, he was so blunt about it.
Yeah,
I
it
loved
was
it.
so good.
And then it cut to Tom Hanks, who kind of was just like, oh my. Like, you know.
Yeah, Tom Hanks wasn't having any of it.
I think he was just a bit taken aback by the language.
It's true.
But and there was another joke which we probably won't repeat about
Judi
Dench saying it was the role she was born to play in Cats.
Yeah.
Because of a lewd act she'd be able to perform on herself. And
look up.
Goodness
the speech
me, that is that's a visual I didn't need.
Absolutely. Also, sorry to touch on that. Golden Globes again. Joaquin won.
Yeah.
And 1917 won. We both seen 1917 now. It may come up in our top movies. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
When we get there. But I'm very glad that Joaquin won. I reckon we'll do the same at the Oscars. I reckon it's Joaquin's year.
I think so.
It's going to be either him or Chris.
We haven't seen Uncut Gems, which obviously is there's a lot of buzz about Sandler's performance for Best Actor, but I don't know. I'm not so certain now because he wasn't even nominated at the Golden Globes. And while that's not always a telltale sign of what's going to win in the Oscars, the fact that he wasn't nominated, I mean, I still completely buy into the fact that he's given an incredible performance. It's all everyone talks about. But yeah, you're probably right. It probably is Joaquin's year. I can't really. I think Leo's a hot nomination as well.
Yep.
Robert De Niro. I don't know who other
Edgerton, maybe, for
yeah. So he also technically won.
Yeah, because he won for
Best Comedy and Musical. Yep. I didn't actually know they had two separate lead actor categories. I thought they only had the film. So that's not new, is it? They've always had the two separate leads. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
I don't like it, personally.
Yeah, I think it's a little strange, but I mean, it does make sense if they split up the films. It does make sense.
But like sometimes the split doesn't make sense. Like they put Martian back in the day as the Martian won best film for.
It had comedic moments. That's about it.
Yeah, like
but it probably was more of a drama.
Yeah, Ridley Scott accepted the award and he goes up to the mic and goes, "I've got no idea how this is a comedy." Straight up. And it's like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think you're probably right about Joaquin. That'll be interesting. So
it's a safe bet.
Oscars are towards the end of January?
Beginning of Feb. I think it's around the 10th of Feb.
Okay.
So
does Uncut Gems come out before that?
Maybe.
I think it's like late Feb, isn't it?
I think so.
Anyway.
But we get the nomination to the next week, which will be our next pod. I reckon we'll go through the nominations, see what we think.
Interesting.
But Dools, to start off because this is our anniversary pod, and we're going to do this every year on this date. We're going to do the best of the year. So we're going to go through games,
so
TV.
Jan 11, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark the calendar.
We're going to go through games, TV, and movies.
So I think let's just dive right into games. Because that'll be a fairly short conversation.
Absolutely, and then we'll go to TV, and then we'll finish off with movies. Fun thing with movies, we've got quite a few people to write in to give their impressions of what their movie of the year was and why.
That will be fun, Has.
It will be.
Because you know what? I've probably met 10% of the people on your list, I'm guessing. And, I'm just going to tear apart their responses.
Yeah, fair play.
Regardless of what they are. And, without them being here to argue back. And that's the best part. So, because that's the kind of person I am.
There you are.
I'm a coward. I'm a fucking coward.
Absolutely, Dools. Alright, games.
So I reckon we go back and forth with, 5-5.
Yep,
4-4.
Okay, would you like to go first?
Sure.
Number 5, Dools. What's your fifth game of the year?
The Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds, cool.
So, spacefaring RPG from Obsidian Entertainment, who are now Microsoft owned, but they're the guys, if you don't know, made the really old school Fallout games, like the isometric ones, but more recently Fallout New Vegas, which I think have you played New Vegas?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Vegas.
So that's like a lot of people even consider to be better than 3. Just a really strong action RPG with like strong focus on narrative and choices and branching storylines, that kind of thing. And this is kind of like, it's clearly their bread and butter because they decided to go do it on their own, but it's set in space and it's very, very Fallout inspired.
Yeah.
Like it feels like Fallout in space.
Yeah.
And it's like, but like good Fallout, like back to the 3 in New Vegas days. And along with that comes a bit of the jank in the gameplay, and it's definitely not the most polished product in the world, but it's so charming, and the characters and story is really good, like really good. And yeah, so I mean, I'd have to knock it for the gameplay. It's not perfect, but I mean, the story and characters uplifted to a point where it's just like, it's a really strong RPG. And if you like those kind of games, then this is definitely for you. So yeah,
Strong.
that is my 5th game of the year.
Strong.
Yeah.
My 5th Dools, quite like Outer Worlds, is Borderlands 3. I was always hit and miss with the Borderlands series until Borderlands 3. I adored the story. I thought the story was, if we boil it in a nutshell, it's pretty generic, but the way that it was told and the humour that was brought to it in a very Borderlands sort of centric way, I thought was awesome. The gun range, the gameplay was so much fun. The shoot and loot sort of aspect of Borderlands, it's always been there, is back, of course. I found it it's just so entertaining, and I just had an absolute ball with it. I finished it. It's about a 40 to 60 hour game, and I finished it.
Nice.
I really like the ending. Very satisfying.
The campaign on its own is 40, 60 hours.
It's huge.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. I just adored it. Like you find it's right. It's correct when you hear all the reports about the exact number of guns that there is. It's like almost infinite.
Yeah.
But you find the range of weapons and the type of attachments that really appeal to your playstyle. Like, I had friends that literally just went shotguns and grenade launchers, and I'm like, no, I'm precision. I need like revolvers and snipers. That's me.
Yeah, it's cool. So it's like, no matter your player style,
exactly.
there's
It's very fluid in how you would play it. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I played a little bit. You graciously gave me a code. Thank you. Wasn't for me though, personally.
That's fair.
I'll tell you
it's
what.
Not for everyone.
Tell you what it made me do though. It made me go right back into Destiny,
Really?
because I was like, I do like, there is something to this
The
kind of like
shooter?
the looter shooter, the that kind of like that gameplay loop, and I just personally think Destiny did it better. And it was just after they released their free to play update. And this can be a little honorable mention because they technically did reboot the game this year or last year, and it's like completely different now. There's so much variety in the strikes and the missions, and it's like a brand new game almost, and it's free, and it's fucking awesome now. So but yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah. Okay, fourth.
Nice.
Fourth is Death Stranding,
Strong.
the very fucking bizarre
Yep.
love child of Hideo Kojima, who of course is famous for the Metal Gear Solid games, and yeah, so this is like his first game having gone out on his own. It's technically an independent game, but Sony published, and I won't even try to really go into too much detail describing what this game is because it's so fucking weird. And like, in a nutshell, you're a delivery man.
Yeah.
And
It's a walking
you're
simulator.
traveling across the United States of America trying to reconnect everyone. So it's a very literal metaphor in the sense that like, it's about connection and connecting the world again because, Hideo Kojima is very worried that we're not all connected anymore. And it's kind of like in this setting that is like, the Fallout is like, there's been some technological apocalypse as well as an actual physical one. The land is ravaged, like, and, etc. and so on. And I don't know, but there is something to it because the story, while nonsensical at times and just so fucking up its own ass, because it's like, it's very pretentious, but in a good way because it's like, it's fascinating.
It's very Kojima.
There is just nothing else like it. And while it's like a bit of a cop-out to say like, oh, how is walking fun? Well, it's a bit more involved in it, and it really is, you really have to play it to kind of understand where you're coming from when you say that you like it. But yeah, I don't know, it's just, there is if there's anything to say about this game, it's that there is nothing else like it, especially in the AAA space.
Yeah.
So it's like a multi-million-dollar game, especially because they have all these celebrities in there. But it is just, it's one of a kind. And I was glad I stuck it out to the ending because, yeah, I think it was a journey. So,
Yeah, awesome. I'm 10 hours through it. I dropped off when what came out that I played. I think it was Jedi Fallen Order.
Probably, yeah.
But I do need to get back to it, and I plan to, just to finish it. You know,
He's not going to get back to it.
but I plan to, Dools. I plan to.
Okay.
Thoughts there. It's a game that's much more for you than it is for me, definitely. You appreciate those sort of things a lot more.
I should also give a very quick shout out to the soundtrack, which accompanies you on these long journeys that you're walking in. It's fucking awesome. Probably one of the best soundtracks.
Low Raw's awesome. Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything Dawes said is correct. I think in my eyes as well. It's gorgeous. It's a fucking gorgeous game.
It might be PS4's presently best looking game.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not entirely for me, but I do want to get back to it and really appreciate it because I do really appreciate and respect Kojima.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That was your 4, sorry? So my 4 is Link's Awakening. Nintendo.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Nintendo Switch. I thought it was absolute lot of fun and brought back all those elements of Zelda that you're just drawn to. Brought back all the... I loved Breath of the Wild, but the thing I really missed about it was the locational geographical dungeons. Where they didn't really have that in Breath of the Wild. They're all
while I guess it was a good break from the formula, you do miss them.
I do miss them. And very much back with Link's Awakening. And I thought it was just absolutely a lot of fun, and the art style was beautiful. And
yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it was almost like a clay kind of look.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
It was so sick, and I thought they did it perfectly.
I think there's definitely potential for them to just, if they want to fucking make it a cash cow, use that same art style. The foundation's there, and just go back and give that treatment to a bunch of the other classic games.
100%.
I think there's some other ones which came out at a similar time, the Oracles games, which I've never played, which I think would be great for that. So it's not in my top 5 because there's some other games which just edged out on it for me, but it's in my honorable mentions. Loved Link's Awakening. I'm one of the biggest Zelda fans you'll fucking find. So okay. Well, has my top 3 though.
No, you did play a lot more games than I did.
One that I've just lent to you because I'm such a good friend is Resident Evil 2
remake.
So this is it is a remake, but this is one of the best fucking remakes. So this is how you do a fucking remake.
I've heard that a lot.
This is so I haven't played the original, but I have played the OG Resident Evil, and it's basically almost meant to feel the same, look the same, because they were both released on PlayStation within a year of each other. Back when they fucking shout out games like there was no tomorrow, and they were much quicker to make. But this is it may as well be a native PS4 game. It's that good. It looks amazing. It's beautiful. It is tense and atmospheric and scary as fuck.
Yeah.
It is So what got me into it, what made me want to get it, was because I had just on a whim saw it cheap in the store, Resident Evil 7, which was a return to form for Resident Evil after it had a bit of a hiatus, but that was in first person. And so I got this one, and I really loved it, and so that's why I was like, okay, I'm all in on Resident Evil. And so when this was announced, I was like, wow, it's perfect timing. It's a remake of a classic, looks cool. And I was like, oh, but, third person maybe doesn't have that same kind of, lasting effect on you as, say, a first person game where, it's maybe not as, intense. Dead wrong. It's fucking terrifying at times. But in the best way, because you're just it makes sure you're on your toes. It is a survival horror game through and through because if you go around pretending it's a third person shooter and unloading all your bullets, you will seriously regret it.
Yeah,
and because there are moments in the game where it's just the game will expect that you're playing cleverly and that you're prepared and you have certain items or whatever, and if you're put in a situation where you need bullets and you don't have any, tough luck. There's not going to be any around you. And there are other ways to beat certain situations without bullets, but you really want to fucking be prepared. And it's just a really good game. And the Resident Evil formula, which is kind of almost Metroidvania, where it's you're in this giant area, and there are parts that you can, there's a lot of backtracking involved, but it's like, but you go back armed with new knowledge and items and gear, and I love that kind of gameplay loop because it's like the same environment, but you approach it differently, and there are different elements involved, like there might be new enemies when you go back and that kind of thing, and it's just like, you're like, okay, fuck, so I've got to... You think you know the area that you've been going through the entire game, and then you don't, and I love that, because it's so cool. And, just really good game.
I heard there's a character called Mr. X.
Oh, don't fucking get me started on this motherfucker. I wasn't going to talk about him, because he's like, you got to experience him on your own.
Yeah.
But basically... he is your shadow throughout the game, and it's just the worst.
Oh no!
So yeah.
Oh no! Well, I'm planning to play it in the next week, which will be fun. Duel's my number 3. I never thought I'd be saying this because I've never been really massive fan of the series for about a good 7 years now. Mm-hmm. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is making my top 5. They brought it back. They brought it the fuck back. The story is my favorite Call of Duty story.
On your feet, soldier, we are out of here.
It's so good.
Captain
It is so
Price.
good.
Yeah.
They brought back Price, and then
that's all you needed.
it was amazing. The entire story was so well told. The gameplay was impeccable, and then they ended it the most perfect way in ever. Absolutely floored by it. I cannot wait for the second one.
I agree. Again, such a good year for me because my top 2 I couldn't. But I mean, I still loved it probably as much as you. I thought the campaign was its best in years. And I'm still playing the multiplayer every now and then. I love the multiplayer. And I'm keen. It kind of looks like the ending kind of suggests that they're going to keep going with this storyline and maybe almost come back in a remix fashion, come back to where COD 4 starts off, because we see that villain is the guy he's one of the villains in COD 4, and it's like, and then he's like, I'm putting together a team. It's like an Avengers moment. It's like, so Gaz, Ghost. It's like, oh my god, let's fucking go.
The way they did that is like Sergeant John McTavish, codenamed Soap, Demolition, and everyone. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
It's like we getting the boys back together.
But because I finished the campaign before you, and you're like, just tell me one thing, is Soap in it? I'm like, no. And you're like, oh damn. And then I was like, but I knew.
I'm glad you didn't tell me,
right? But it's literally like
we just spoiled the fuck out of COD for anyone.
It came out months ago. If you're not a fan of it, you wouldn't care. But when the reveal happened, they were getting the whole team back together. The line from
Ghost as well, bro. And the reveal that who you were playing as for portions of the game was actually Gaz all along. Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. Very cool. Didn't know that.
But where they revealed the whole team, just the lines out of Bad Boys came back to me. And I was just like, oh shit, here we go again. One last time.
Let's fucking go.
One last time. Yeah, that's my top 3.
Nice.
I mean, that's my number 3, sorry. What's your number 2, Dools?
Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order.
Spoilers, Dools, also mine.
Very bizarre tiling. Star Wars, because it's literally like Star Wars Jedi and then Fallen Order. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. For the first time in years, since the first Force Unleashed game came out, not the second one, the first one, is probably the first good Star Wars game we've gotten.
Yeah.
And it's single player, it's narrative driven. The action, the combat is really good. It's a little Soulsy inspired. The map and the backtracking, little Metroidvania-ish, I guess. You got Uncharted set pieces. It's like a mishmash of some of the best games of the third person genre, mixed together with the Star Wars skin, and it was just such a pleasant surprise of a game. It was just such a joy to play it because if it were a generic third person action game of any other brand, it'd be good. But I think because it's Star Wars, it's okay, it's great. Because I mean, it's just a lot of fun to play. Great characters and story. That moment at the end is similar to that Rogue One moment.
Oh,
it's
epic.
Oh my god, this motherfucker is terrifying.
That's not my favorite bit of the game, but I'll tell you after you finish.
Okay. And Yeah, so I mean, just a blast to play, lightsaber combat, force combat,
Absolutely.
it's all in there, and yeah, ton of fun. I'm positive we're gonna get a sequel, and I think because you got to keep in mind, so this is from Respawn, right? EA owned studio Respawn. They're known for Titanfall, Apex Legends, so their bread and butter is first-person shooters, and for their first outing for a third-person action game, very, very fucking solid.
Yeah.
Considering how much of a departure that is from what they're really known for and what they're good at. So you can only imagine how much better a sequel will be. So I can't wait.
Absolutely. I agree with everything you said. I thought it was truly amazing, the game. I thought the story was beautiful. The main character I thought was awesome.
Shout out. Yeah.
Yep, shout out to BD1.
Yes.
Another fantastic droid.
Yes.
Fantastic droid.
Fuck you, Dio. Piece of shit. The fuck were you even... Like, what did we need from you?
It's true.
We sidelined R2-D2 for J.J. Abrams' voice Dio. Oh, God. Let's not talk about Rise of Skywalker. Let's just...
It's in my top 10. I know. Imagine if it was. You'd be really angry.
I mean, it's your prerogative, but...
No, but you'd be fucking...
I'd question you fucking
You'd
sanity.
be triggered. But yeah, no, there's a moment... I'm just going to spoil a bit of Jedi Fallen Order. If you haven't played it and want to play it, tune out for the next 30 seconds. So I'm a massive Star Wars fan, right? You know this. And one of the myths of where they mine kyber crystals for lightsabers is the Elenium system.
Yep.
And there's a moment in Jedi Fallen Order where he breaks the lightsaber of his master that he's like that he has in his hand because he's being tempted by the dark side, and he gets on the ship. And his captain just turns to him and goes, "We're going to the Elenian system." And I'm in my head, I'm like, "Holy shit, we might make a new lightsaber." And she turns to him and goes, "And you're going to make a lightsaber." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." And then when he creates the lightsaber and it goes double-sided and he detaches it and he's got two lightsabers, basically. I'm like, this is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
Like, unreal.
Very fucking cool.
Adored the game. Fucking awesome. What's your game of the year, Dools?
Has my game of the year is... Sekiro. Ooh. Shadows Die Twice.
Ooh.
So this is my second foray into the Soulsborne
You're fucking loving
world.
this, eh?
So my first little dance with this kind of franchise or series was Bloodborne, which came out. I think I got it free with PS Plus early 2018, and I'd heard so much about these kind of games because they're from the developer From Software. They're like, these guys have pioneered this kind of genre. It's almost a genre now because there have been some copycats since. And you just hear how notoriously hard they are, how stupidly tough they are, and how unfair. And this is like, oh, this is definitely not for casuals kind of thing. And so that always kind of deterred me because I'm a filthy casual. And but I was like, fuck it, it's free. I'll give it a shot. And I fell in love. Like Bloodborne was like a masterpiece, a straight up masterpiece. And so this was like their first game that they'd put out since then.
Do you reckon I would like Bloodborne?
I think you would, bro. I honestly think you would. And yeah, you would have downloaded it, right?
Yeah.
When it was free? Yeah. Yeah. And so this is like the first game that they released since then, since I'd become a fan. And I was like, yeah, fucking let's go. Like, let's give it a shot. And it's just another... So it's very different to Bloodborne and Dark Souls, which I actually haven't played yet. But it's like you're a samurai. It's ancient Japan. Sorry, you're actually a ninja. You're a shinobi. You kill samurai. But yeah, ancient Japan setting. It's just like very sophisticated, grueling sword combat. And it's like, you have to know what you're doing. Like, this is just like... So Bloodborne, the other games, the main point of difference between this is that the other games, it kind of will give you a variety of ways to approach combat. This is like, no, you got to get good at using this sword, otherwise you're fucked. And you can't play it. Which is why actually a lot of Souls fans hate Sekiro. Because it's just like, I can't fucking parry. And, and like, yeah, if you don't know how to parry in this game, then you're done for. And it almost like, I saw someone describe it as like a rhythm game because like, the parrying, once you learn enemies' movements and attack patterns, it's like, yeah, it's almost like a rhythm game because it's just like attack, dodge, parry, blah, 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 rinse and repeat. And but it's tough as hell, But like, they're not unfair. These games are not unfair. Whenever you die, you'll know why you died, and so you go back armed with that knowledge, and you get better each time, and it's just the most satisfying gameplay loop ever. And yeah, I mean, it's just a fucking impeccable game. I can't fault it in any way, really. And yeah.
Nice. Do you have it on disc?
I do.
Might borrow it from you, Dools. You might have sold me on it.
Yeah, you should give Bloodborne a go, man. If you like that, I think, yeah.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. So my number one, Dools. It's one of the latest games I played. It came out early in the year and it got really average to bad reviews.
Ooh.
So I was kind of drawn away from it. I didn't even try it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. It was a shame because it's a Sony first party game and those have a reputation for being really solid.
Exactly. So it's Days Gone. I recently played it after it's all patched and everything. In short, I adore it. So the whole story surrounds a man named Deacon St. John. And he's a biker that's in the post-apocalyptic world full of zombies. And his main man, Boozer, calls him Booze Man. Boozer.
And chucked another nickname on top of that.
Yeah.
Booze Man.
Booze Man.
All
Hey,
right.
Booze Man! I think this game is so rich with just the environment. Like, a lot of people say the environment's just not alive. When I'm like, it's supposed to not be alive. It's a zombie game. But I think that it just comes from the story and the real idea of this character of Deacon. I'm not going to give away what he does in the game, like what his main storyline is, because you're about to play it.
Yep.
People say it goes on for too long. I was having so much fun, so I didn't give a fuck. There's like 2 moments where I could have stopped there, but it kept going. I didn't care. I was loving this character and I was loving this world. I just wanted more and more and more.
Yeah.
I think every character that's in this game's fucking awesome. There's some characters that you hate. There's some characters that you're like, I'd fucking follow that guy. I'd join that camp.
That you're designed to hate, do you think? That you're meant to hate?
Yes, 110%.
Yeah.
Then there's like, you go through camps and stuff and you earn trust with each camp. Shout out to Iron Mike. When you meet him, he's like a head of a camp. I'm like, I fucking love this guy.
I like the name, so I think I'm going to like
He's doing shit right, in this world.
Is Iron Mike a chef?
Or maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in a previous life. But I loved everything about it. I'm a big open world sort of fan. I love zombies. I love zombie movies. I love zombie games. So I'm really excited to play Resident Evil. And I just really loved what they did. And there's constant... It's not just mindless action and stuff. It's exactly what you said with... It's not exactly. Like, you have to really maintain your ammo. You have to really maintain crafting system, maintenance of your bike, everything. Oh, man, I just fucking love this game. I think it's awesome. It's my game of the year.
Cool. Fuck yeah.
I'm not sure if you'll like them all, like, as much as I do.
Well, I'm a sucker for these kind of games, and, Sony Open World, I mean, yeah, they rarely do wrong, because it's such a shame, as you mentioned.
Because I went in expecting a 6 out of 10, like what IGN gave it. So go in expecting that.
Yeah, well, so to that point, it's a shame, because the game, it really is Sony PR's fault, because they shipped it off to press so the reviews could meet embargo, a few days before release, and they shipped it in unfinished state. And had they waited 2 weeks, like pretty much release, they would have shipped, the developers, proper vision, realized vision, and because I listen to another podcast where they don't really get the games early, but they get them when they get them, and like anyone else would, and they're like, the reviews are way off because they got an unpatched version of this game where it was a buggy mess and had all these other problems, and so its Metacritic score, its review score suffered as a result. But luckily, it seems apparently it did sell really well. So, and that they're already working on a sequel.
Is that confirmed?
It's a
like
bad kept
obvious.
secret. It's they're definitely they're
man,
hiring and shit for it.
I'm looking forward to it.
So it leaves open for a sequel. Is it obvious, or they're kind of like there can be a sequel?
There can be.
Yeah.
It's not like obvious. Like that's all I'll say. Yeah.
Cool.
There definitely can be.
But I'm keen to play it. So we're swapping RE2 and Days Gone, and yeah.
Okay, I won't say another word. 100%.
Yeah. Sweet.
It's just so you know, there's don't stop at the credits. It's like
Okay.
It's like Red Dead. Remember
Okay.
how like there's a bit.
Is it in the credits, or if I skip credits, will
No,
it just still appear?
there's like another couple of missions to do after the credits.
Oh, right. But wouldn't it just appear anyway, even if I skip the credits?
Not really.
Oh, that's weird. Right.
Oh no, sorry. I mean like don't stop the credits. Sorry, don't like turn off the game. And
Oh, right. No, I rarely do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Sweet. Yeah, awesome. That's our game stalls.
Dope, has.
You can go to TV.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the same? Top 5?
Yeah.
We're top 10 for movies, but top 5.
Yeah.
Probably should quick pace in this one.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I reckon, yeah. And this one I can be quick about. So, 5th, in ascending order, obviously. So, The Witcher.
Nice.
Henry Cavill is Geralt. I can't remember the other actress's name. That's fine. So, Netflix series based on the books. Obviously, Witcher I think is arguably more well known these days for the game. Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. But this I thought was... So I guess in that sense I don't really consider it an adaptation of the game. But it kind of is, because they definitely borrow aspects from the game, like visual cues and things like that. So I think if we're looking at it like...
combat stuff.
Yeah, so I think like, if we're looking at it as like a game TV series, which it kind of is, I think it's a huge success. And I really enjoyed it. I didn't have huge expectations. I was expecting something halfway decent because of the hype, and Cavill himself, a self-professed Witcher fan, was like, you guys, have reason to be excited. We're very serious about this, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think it disappointed me at all. I think like it has its problems, but I think more than anything, it's a really strong series, and Cavill is perfect as Geralt. Perfect.
Awesome.
So yeah.
No, number 5, Dawes, is Barry Season 2.
Whoa.
Introduced Barry this year, or last year. Watched it all in one sitting. Binged it, not in one sitting, a couple of sittings, but binged it all. Thought Season 2 was impeccable. Won Emmys for it, and it deserved it.
Yep.
I thought Bill Hader was awesome and written so well. There's a couple episodes in particular that's just hilarious. And the ending, it's like, fuck.
The ending is fucked up crazy.
Yeah, can't wait for
It's
season 3.
like wow, how do you go from here?
Yeah.
Like literally, how do you go from here?
Yeah.
It felt like Hank on the toilet moment in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That kind of
exactly.
So that's gonna radically change the show, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Hopefully they don't cop out and do a little thing where he tries to convince him otherwise, and blah blah blah. So like, hopefully they actually do really deal with it, 100%. And I think he will, because like Bill. I also reckon it might be the last season, depending on how things pan out. But I don't know. Yeah. That's actually my number 3, so I can skip over that when time comes. But
nice.
4 is, for me, Jack Ryan Season 2.
Ooh, still haven't gotten to it.
Delicious.
Yeah, nice.
Just great little follow-up to Season 1. I think Season 1 might still edge 2 for me, just because the villain, Suleiman, from Season 1, I thought was really cool and just, like, compelling, and that. But I think Season 2, I think like it's a bit quicker to the jump with the action, and explores Greer's relationship with Jack a bit more and other things like that. So I think it's a bit more fast paced and action packed, but I think from a plot perspective, Season 1 might have just had the edge, but this was still an awesome outing, and I can't wait for more. So
awesome.
yeah.
My number 4, Dawes, is Stranger Things Season 3.
Completely forgot that.
Yep.
That probably would have been on here for me. Whoops.
It's alright. That's right. Well, we can talk about like anyway. I think this is by far the best season.
Yeah.
I think this Jim Hopper is amazing in this fucking season.
David Harbour.
They get what this show is, definitely. They understand the nostalgia that we go through with this fucking show, even though we didn't grow up in the 80s. But you know what I mean. They get what it is, all the references and everything. The dialogue was fucking awesome, and it's just so great. I loved it.
Yeah, so I was actually a little disappointed with season... Well, I thought Season 2 was a bit of a misstep compared to 1.
Yeah, I think everyone can agree with that, though. So
if one was a 9... 2 was like a 7.5, and then 3 I think was like a 9.5.
Yeah,
I thought it was like really good. I thought it was a serious return to form, even better than 1 in my opinion. Yeah, you said best season as well. So I couldn't agree more. I think, and I cannot wait. I think they haven't really. I think it was at first said that they was going to do 4 seasons and be done, but I think they're not entirely sure now. They said whatever makes sense for the story. Can't wait for more. Can't wait.
So number 4, number 3, Dawes.
Number 3, well, it was Barry season 2, so I might just jump to... Do you want to... Yeah, you do your
My number
third.
3, I think you also got about this, Mindhunter season 2.
I forgot that as well. What the fuck?
So Mindhunter season 1 was my top show of the year, I think 2 years ago.
I forgot all the Netflix shows,
Yeah,
except
it's
Witcher.
It's all good. It's all good. That's why I'm here. You feel a lot. I thought Mindhunter season 2 was fucking phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. There you go. Is it better than season 1? I don't know.
Tough.
Yeah. They're both excellent though. But to say that it's in the conversation that it might be is something.
Yeah.
Because season 1 is fucking up there.
Season 1
almost
was
as good as
dope.
True Detective season 1. I think, Mindhunter, it's exactly what I love. The relationship between Holt and... What's his name? Holt and Ford.
Yeah.
Was fucking sick.
Holt and Ford?
Holden Ford and... What's the other guy's name?
Is his name Holt?
Is it Holt?
Because Holden... Because it's Holden Ford.
Holden Ford is what I'm thinking
Which is
of.
like hilarious. Why they named him that, I don't know. But
Bill Tench.
Yeah,
course.
Tench, yeah.
I was thinking of Holden. Tench and Ford was sick. I thought the connection between the both was just awesome, and I loved how it was always just it's always a true story. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think, I think there were parts of one which I think might have just made it the slightly better season for me. Ed Kemper, I think, comes to mind as to his performance and his storyline as to why I was just like, wow, like this show is something else. But I agree. And another clumsy omission from my list I should have remembered that one. So
It's all good.
yeah, I agree.
Oh, awesome. What's your number 2?
Number 2 is Chernobyl.
Strong. Number 1.
I was blown away by this. So, as the name implies, it's a mini-series about the events that transpired at Chernobyl in the mid-'80s, early 80s, in Russia. The nuclear explosion. And it's just like it deals with the explosion itself, and then the fallout from that, literally and figuratively. And then it takes like a political approach, like you see the behind the scenes of kind of like how they approach it, dealing this and all that kind of stuff, and ends as like a bit of a courtroom drama. And I mean it is just a brilliant fucking miniseries. It felt like a long film. It didn't really feel like a TV series because it's a one and done thing. It's an event series, and So it's your number 1. I mean, do you want to just talk about it now? And
Yeah, exactly. Because my number 2, I think, is your number 1.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's one of the most perfect miniseries I've ever seen. It's up there with Band of Brothers for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think it's fucking well told. Did you see that it won a Golden Globe?
For best series?
Stellan got it for best supporting actor.
Oh, cool.
Stellan Skarsgård, but I think it might have.
I thought he was good. He was very good, but Jared Harris, the lead, I thought was
unreal, wasn't he?
Did he win?
I don't think he did. Let me look up the.
Might have been some other stronger leads, which is fair. So
yeah, exactly. Well, it was just a good year for acting and shit. But
I agree. Yeah, so...
Sorry, yeah,
who are you
best
looking for?
miniseries and TV.
Okay, cool. Okay, perfect, yeah. So there is a separate category for miniseries.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Stellan won for best supporting actor.
I don't think there was any competition then.
No, not at all. Russell Crowe won for best actor in miniseries.
He was Roger Ailes, wasn't he?
Yeah, and apparently he was fucking awesome.
What is... Yeah, okay, interesting. I think... Is that on Stan? Whatever that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I definitely want to watch that because there's also a film out. I thought he was playing Roger Ailes in that film, which is about that bombshell. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Comes out in mid-Jan for us.
I also want to give a shout out to something I haven't watched, but just is fucking everyone fucking talks about. HBO drama Succession, and apparently Adam McKay is behind it, and it is just on everyone's lips at the moment. It's like a fucking. It's like the new, I don't know. It's like if Game of Thrones was in an executive boardroom or something.
Like House of Cards.
Yeah, House of Cardish. Yeah, it's better comparison. So yeah, I thought I'd just quickly chuck that in there before I go to my number one.
Your number one's my number two, Dools. Say it out.
Watchmen.
It's true.
What a fucking surprise this was.
Yeah, it was. No one expected it to be
Holy
this good.
shit. The level of sophistication, some of the best writing I've come across in a show in
100%
a
agree.
fucking long time. Even like the titles, the episode titles, I was
Slave
like,
show.
damn, this is cool. I'm like, damn, that's genius. Yeah, I mean, I personally love. It's a very divisive film. I personally loved Zack Snyder's Watchmen. So when this was announced, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, they could take this in any kind of direction. I'm on board. And then it's revealed that I think, what's his name? Oh Jesus,
Remember Dr. Manhattan?
no. Fuck me. The guy who did The Leftovers
Damien
for
Lindelof.
HBO. Yeah. Damon Lindelof. Yeah. He like, people have constantly praised that his other show, The Leftovers, which I want to get to at some stage.
Yeah, I'm going to make time for that.
Just because of how much I love Watchmen. So I mean, I'll briefly touch on plot. It's a sequel set, present time.
Which is bold. Bold to do.
Yeah, it kind of touches on like white supremacy as a serious threat, and kind of like a backdrop as a villain, but it's a bit deeper than that as well. Spoilers, Dr. Manhattan is in it, but the way he's revealed, I think, is like fucking genius and like just so cool.
Yeah.
And there's a whole episode which leads up to it, and like, anyway, so I think it's shot beautifully. It has great performances from I'm gonna butcher his name. I think it's Jaheim something the second. He plays Black Manta in definitely his best role, but Black Manta in fucking Aquaman.
You think Aquaman's his best role, Dools? Interesting.
I said definitely not his best role. This might be his best role now.
I agree.
He's actually also in The Get Down, but that's, not many people watch that.
Have a go at that name.
Oh goodness. Yahya Abdul Mateen the second.
That's the end of the Mall Cops, everybody.
Oh, Jesus
there
Christ.
We've lost.
We've been cancelled. We're cancelling ourselves.
It was-
But I think the strongest performance comes from, I was going to say Regina King, probably Jeremy Irons as
I agree.
as Ozymandias. Fucking awesome.
Amazing.
And shout out to Gene Smart as Agent Blake, and it's just really fucking
and Tim
cool.
Blake Nelson as well.
Yeah. Although
awesome.
he felt like he was sidelined a little bit
yeah.
towards the end, but he had an episode to himself, which he was like, so good in.
Yeah.
And oh my god, yeah. And so there's a moment in the show where Tim Blake Nelson, his character, gets pretty much an entire episode to himself. You get a bit of backstory and all this stuff, and without giving too much away, this cataclysmic event which happens in the world, which affects him greatly. And still to this day, like, affects him and kind of like almost like curates his life to an extent, like curates how he goes about certain things in his life. He then comes to the realization that this certain event was staged and not what it seemed.
It's straight up ruining Watchmen.
Well, no, and so this just completely destroys his world, and it's like fucking awesome. Like his performance in that and this realization is, it's a really fucking smart show, and I love the film, but this shit's on the film.
Yeah, feel you. I fucking feel you. Just like big time.
Right.
No, but I absolutely agree with you, Tim Blake Nelson. The moment you realize why he's wearing the mask. That was like, okay, this is a fucking amazing character. Like, straight up. Good year for TV, Dools.
And I'll quickly just say, of course, everyone's asking Damon Lindelof if there's going to be a season 2. He's like, if an idea comes.
Which is awesome.
But he wrote it in mind as a one and done. And personally, I mean, I'm on the same page. I don't want a season 2, but if he comes out and he's like, no, I genuinely have a great idea for season 2, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, so also honourable mention to True Detective season 3, which I completely forgot about as well. It was a pretty good year. It was a better year than I realised. So yeah, because we actually did really like season 3's True Detective.
Yeah, it was good.
You had
Mahershala.
Yeah, Mahershala, who's great.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
It's a shame. It's probably better than Witcher, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, But anyway, whatever. So,
I'm a piece of shit, probably.
yeah,
You know?
and so was Stranger Things and fucking Mindhunter. But anyway, anywho,
That's fine. Dools.
Haz, we're up to the fucking
This is it.
the big cannoli.
This is it.
This is a big F.
Have you ranked yours, or are you going to not rank it?
You know what? I did. I realized because I kind of subconsciously put them all. I put a number next to each of them, but I was like, I told myself this was not a rank. But I pretty much have ranked them, and I kind of, while it might change. I think this is probably a solid rank that I have. So
well,
I will rank.
Throughout these, we've been given a few messages.
I reckon we also start with honourable mentions as
That's
well.
what
Do
I'm
you have
also
some?
yeah, of course.
Okay, cool.
Also, stop looking at
Wow, I
my...
missed one entirely. An honourable mention.
Damn it, Dools. That was the one that was going to surprise you, because I knew you wouldn't have it. We got some emails from listeners coming in, talking about what their movie of the year and why it's their movie of the year. So whenever that movie comes up, if it does come up, I'll read
So how are you going to scatter these around? If it's like if someone gives one of their tops, you'll be like, and so and so wrote in. Okay, cool,
exactly.
cool.
I've read through them all.
Nice.
They're good.
All right. Well, I've been going.
mentions.
So yeah, you start, sir.
First honorable mention, Dools, is El Camino.
Hmm.
Holy shit.
Wow.
This shows the caliber of the year, because this would have been in my top 3 if it was another year, right?
Yeah.
And this is in my honorable mentions. Adored this
I
fucking
keep
movie.
looking at your screen, so I don't want to ruin.
Yeah, good man. Adored this film. It gave us things from Breaking Bad that we didn't know we wanted.
Yeah.
We thought the ending of Breaking
Closure.
Bad... Exactly. We thought the ending of Breaking Bad was awesome, but we wanted the next 48 hours.
And it doesn't...
We needed the next 48 hours.
What they had to be really careful about was giving us closure, but also not taking away from Breaking Bad's ending.
Exactly.
And they did the only thing...
Even adding to it.
They did the only thing they could do if done properly and correctly, which was complement the ending, and that's exactly what that film is. Do I still believe it to be necessary? No. Am I glad it exists? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think Aaron Paul gives maybe one of a career best performance. I mean, he's so fucking good in this. He shines as a lead. He can easily carry a film. He's proven that now. Yeah, really fucking cool. And oh my god, seeing Mark again, just with that scene at the start. Fucking and then Walt. But I didn't know how spoiler it want to get. But then again, it's like
it's fine.
Oh, dude, the scene with Walt when you see him come out of the room. Oh my god, fucking did that just destroy you for a second?
It was just like a heart to heart.
But so what I thought was interesting because it showed the lighter side of their relationship, because there was a time in the series where they were friendly with one another and they genuinely seemed to care about one another, and and they kind of bickered. Like Walt was kind of like, he was acting like that father figure, like you could go to business school, I mean there's plenty of stuff you can do, don't sell yourself short kind of thing. And I was like, that's heartfelt and an interesting kind of scene to give us and to technically now end the series with, as them being friendly with one another, because well, the last time we saw them, they fucking hated each other's guts. Well, at least Jesse more to Walt, because Jesse had...
Tell me about this!
Walt had literally left Jesse with those fucking neo-Nazis, and he had just had the shittest time.
Oh, man.
And Jesse pretty much was leaving him to die, and he saw that, and, so that kind of, for me, said, like, no, he has nothing but contempt for this person. So I thought that was interesting from Vince Gilligan, because maybe he views their relationship differently, and maybe he has a better outlook on it. I mean, what do you think about that? If you want to quickly touch on it, like, because now technically, canonically, the series has ended with them with a more positive look at their relationship.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that the end of Breaking Bad was Walt trying to like unburn bridges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he literally sent Jesse to die.
Yeah.
At the end of it, when he's just like,
yeah, he did.
Like,
well, he thought they were going to kill him.
He's like, you still owe me Jesse in the desert. Like, you still owe me Jesse Pinkman, and he's under that car.
Yeah.
And it's literally him righting the wrongs as much as he could, giving all the money to his family, telling the other guy, his last name Black, I can't remember what his the guy that he was in business with for Grey Matter.
I can't remember.
He goes to his house and like threatens them and tells them like how much they like cut him out of shit. And it was like, for the rest of your life, you're giving this money to my family. You're putting it in a grant and giving it to my son for his college. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And I reckon this really just gives you, because there's all the theories of like even a couple of like 3 or 4 years ago, a year or two after it finished, Vince Gilligan was asked on a panel what happens to Jesse after, and he goes, "Oh, he gets caught by the police. You know, you can't outrun the police." It's just like, fuck. Like, we need him to be good.
Yeah.
Like, he's gone through so much shit.
I think he must have given different answers at different points, because he's like, well, I like to think he got away, made it to Alaska, blah, 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 but we'll never know.
Yeah.
So I think
we
but that's good that we get that.
We officially have it. Closure. Yeah.
Nice.
Another honourable mention. Sorry, we'll just scream. That was my honourable mention, number 1.
Yeah, oh my god. Maybe speed through the honourables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another honourable mention, Farewell.
Yep, I've got that as well.
Amazing. Aquafina was great. Toy Story 4 was awesome, but unnecessary, I thought.
Yeah.
I can't believe this didn't make my top 10. John Wick 3.
Yeah, that actually just got pushed out for me.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
John Wick 3 I fucking adored. To make a trilogy of action movies and all 3 of them be incredible, amazing.
I know, and arguably get better with each new one.
Absolutely. Always Be My Maybe, Dools. Have you seen that on Netflix? It's a rom-com on Netflix. I highly recommend it. I think it's fucking awesome. Keanu Reeves has a cameo in it, and it's one of his best roles of all time.
Keanu Reeves.
He plays himself.
Okay.
But he plays a douchebag version of himself.
Okay.
Well, I'll sell you on this, right? I'm about to sell you on this.
He's breathtaking.
He's breathtaking. But they go to this really, really pretentious 5-star restaurant in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so pretentious that like while he's eating venison, he's got headphones on and he can hear the deer before it was killed.
What?
So just like the sounds of the deer just going through the wild before it was shot.
Okay.
And he's just there like crying while he's eating a venison steak.
Okay, that's I'm sold. That's fucking ridiculous.
His entrance music.
Who comes up with
his entrance music is "Sail" by AWOL Nation. Sail. This is how. Oh man, absolutely watch that movie just for that cameo alone. Is awesome.
It's on Netflix.
Yes, it's a Netflix movie.
Nice.
3 other honorable mentions for me: Knives Out, a lot of fun. Ryan Johnson, brilliant. Booksmart was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with Knives Out. And again, another film which probably would have made the 10 if it weren't for it being such a ridiculously strong year.
Agree.
Ryan Johnson, you've somewhat redeemed yourself after you know what.
The phenomenal work.
Somewhat redeemed. Stress somewhat. Actually, you still got a bit of work to do.
Booksmart.
Give me a Looper too, Ryan. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Give me a Looper too. Booksmart. Olivia Wilde's directorial debut.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
A fact I found out this week. I did not know this. You know Beanie Feldstein?
Jonah Hill's sister?
Jonah Hill's sister. I never knew that.
I took one look and I knew. I'm kidding.
That's so...
No, I'm kidding. No, I took one look at a photo of the two of them with the caption being "with my big brother." That's what if you let me finish my sentence, what the fuck were you trying to say? Man, you're a piece of work.
And the last honourable mention.
Jesus Christ.
Last honourable mention is Dr. Sleep. I loved Dr.
Again, I
Sleep.
forgot that as well, but I mean, it's been a year, man.
It's been a hell of a year. That would have been in my top 3.
It's been a fucking year, man. I got a couple more honourables beyond what you've listed. So we went to Sydney Film Festival mid last year, and we saw some exceptional films.
Exceptional. Go ahead, Dawes.
So Elijah Wood in Come to Daddy.
Come to Daddy.
A very quirky, I think, New Zealand directed and written film. Very bizarre, very
trailer
weird.
Just came out for it, by the way.
Really cool. Really.
Yeah, so it might actually count as a 2020 movie now. But like we saw it in 2019, so I guess 2019.
High Life with Robert Pattinson. Really strong. Him as the lead. Very, very fucking art house film. Mm-hmm. I don't think you loved it, from what I remember. I quite liked it a lot because of the cinematography and the strangeness of it, and I was kind of like drawn in, and like I was like, wow, like, you know, I just wanted to see where it was going next.
I didn't love it, but I appreciate it. I thought
it was definitely weird for weird's sake, but when the setting and like the setting can make a big difference for me, and it's in an air station, a space station for pretty much the entire film, and that to me is like very weird and cool, and yeah. So that's a good film. And then Battle of Long Tan, which I think there's more to that title, which I can't quite remember, but
Danger Close.
Battle of Long Tan. This is another great war film. But Aussie made, Aussie directed, you know, can't get enough of that. I mean, like, you know, there's a disappointing, although mind you, there's another Aussie film which I don't think either of us saw, Nightingale, also meant to be excellent.
Oh, so I've seen that on a lot of top 10 lists.
Probably need to kind of like give that a quick shout out because yeah, I mean, you know, I'm always like, I feel like you can always tell when it's Australian made. Do you know what I mean? You can always tell, and we shouldn't be able to tell. I think like, I mean, you should be able to tell from performances and writing credits, but not from the look and the feel of the film, because I think like it should be able to stand on its own in Hollywood or whatever, and you know, and I feel like that kind of did this a bit, so that's why I was so impressed by it. And you know, it definitely wasn't a small budget movie, because to be a war movie, yeah, it's gonna be fucking expensive. So yeah, I think that's all I had here. Yeah. Oh, and Midsummer.
Yeah, they make you honorable mention.
Oh yeah, didn't for you?
No.
Really?
So
Not an honorable mention.
maybe an honorable mention. Maybe. Like, I thought the first 2 acts of Midsummer were amazing. Like I was so fucking hooked. But I felt like they stumbled and tripped in the 3rd act. I was just like, oh, this.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't like the ending. I was just like,
Yeah, neither.
But the first.
The journey was good. The destination, not so much.
Mate, what a fucking metaphor. What a metaphor.
Oh, look, I'm good for some things.
Yeah, some things, definitely.
Okay.
But the beginning of that film, horrific. And you really understand why she's so anxious and depressed and like...
Yeah, holy shit.
Right?
Just fucking... He's got something, and he's... Ari Aster, he's got like a fetish for like serious family tragedy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. But I really appreciate what he did with it.
Real quick, have you seen that short film he made, which you can find on YouTube? It's like about the son and father and... Oh, yikes.
Is it scary?
Maybe his scariest work.
Really?
But not in the way that you're thinking.
Like no jump scares or anything?
No, it's like just horrifying, but from a different perspective.
Interesting.
It's only like 25 minutes. You got to watch it.
Oh,
it's on YouTube.
I will.
Should we jump into the 10?
Sure. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay.
Go first, Jules.
So again, obviously, I think our top 10s are going to look very similar.
Yep.
So I feel like, do we just talk about each at the same time, and then we can be like, oh, and my thing was your 10th. Okay, cool. Coming in at number 10.
So, like, let's say that, like, for example, let's take a movie that's not in it. Doctor Sleep, is that in your top 10, by the way?
No.
Okay, cool. Let's say if your 10's Doctor Sleep, my 7. I won't say that my 7 is, but then when I get to my 7, like, 7 is Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, cool. So, what's your 10?
10 is Ford v Ferrari. I thought this was, I mean, you've got Christian Bale, Matt Damon as the leads.
Yep.
Giving excellent performances. I mean, career best, probably not, but I mean,
They're
incredibly capable actors, and seeing the two of them star opposite each other was really cool, because I don't think we'd seen the two of them before. You have great supporting from John Bernthal, the guy who plays Henry Ford II. Don't know who the actor is. Sorry. And also the douchebag marketing guy is also great.
Josh Lucas.
Okay, cool.
Dude, he might have been the villain of the year.
Oh, like, I know.
Even with Thanos, like,
I know,
he was a fucking.
Oh yeah,
asshole.
I can fucking agree with that. Yeah, he was a professional cunt. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Got 92% on Tomatoes, by the way.
Yeah,
the thing of Tracy Letts is Henry Ford II.
Okay, there you go. Shout out to Trace.
Big Trace boy.
Big old Trace. And cinematography impeccable. I mean, the way they shot it, the races are exhilarating as fuck.
Yep.
And it's just a really cool David vs Goliath story. Even though, bizarrely enough, like, yes, Ford is not a fucking small company, but from the perspective of them entering the racing circuit, having never built a racing car before, they were the David and Ferrari was the Goliath in this one
100%.
circumstance. And it's a feel good movie. It's based on a true story as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just like, I think it's a testament to, like, you know, say if like you're not a boxing fan or whatever, but like films like The Fighter and Creed, like, you know, they kind of rise above it, and they're just really strong films and have great action and whatever. And so this is like a great boxing movie from a, you know, but if it was a racing movie, and even if you're not a racing fan, I think you're gonna fucking love it.
Absolutely.
And it was a thrill to watch on the big screen, and you know, it had like 2.5 hour runtime. I swear, so many films are getting so much longer these days, which I don't mind, but it doesn't waste your time. I think it's it earns that runtime. And yeah, I loved it. I loved it. So yeah, James Mangold, who did Logan. So
It's true.
yeah.
Dools, my number 10. Jojo Rabbit. Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit.
Nice, nice.
I adored this film. I think this film is fucking almost okay. I'm gonna say it. All my top 10 for me are 10 out of 10s. That's how strong. This year is.
Wowee.
That's how strong this fucking year is.
Wowee woo.
But I thought that Taika Waititi directed the fucking hell out of this.
He did. Directed the hell out of himself.
It's absolutely, but like I don't think that he was the
comedy of the year, by the way.
Yeah, probably. But I don't think he was the best part of it. Even though he was amazing. I don't think, I think Jojo was by far the best part. He was cast so impeccably well.
Yeah.
And then we've got amazing...
Do you think when Finn Wolfhard or any of the kids from those fucking shows and movies could have done it?
Dude, it's either strange...
Was he impeccably cast?
Yes.
Okay.
Like 110%.
I think fucking any of those Stranger Things kids are. Or
Bullshit.
It kids could do it. Really?
No way. Absolutely no way.
No way.
They can't look Aryan.
Whoa.
That was the whole point of it. He's in Hitler Youth. That's not controversial. Look at that bitch. But no. Like you got side character.
You heard it here first. As is a Nazi.
Adios. You got side characters like Sam Rockwell, who was awesome.
Yes.
His character arc was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. An amazing cameo of Stephen Merchant.
Yes. As the fucking Gestapo.
Yeah. Amazing.
Taika Waititi, he's sitting there writing script, and he's like, now, who's going to be the leader of the Gestapo when they raid the house? Turns on Fighting With My Family. Stephen Merchant.
Yeah. But, Fighting With My Family should get an honorable mention, by the way. Sorry. Yeah. I love Fighting With My Family. But there's so many great lines from Stephen Merchant. It's just like, we get all the calls every day.
Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
Heil Hitler.
We get calls every day. It's like, oh no.
Someone's going to take those out of context, by the way, when one of us is... Well, anyway.
Where he's like, oh yeah, like... I get calls every day like, oh, there's a communist behind my fridge and it's just mold. It's so good.
It's a very funny film.
I adore it. Dools, we got... I should have had this up, sorry. We got friend of the show, J-Dog.
J-Dog?
He wrote in, what's his favourite film? Jojo Rabbit.
Really?
He said, it was just really enjoyable for me. Fun characters, amazing soundtrack, and a moving, relatable human story to tie it all together.
Oh, nice.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Appreciate you writing in, J-Dog. Knowing that we were at the same sessions for, I think, Joker and Once Upon, and you still think this is your film of the year. I mean, look, each to their own. You're wrong, but each to their own. So has Jojo Rabbit was my 9th pick. So
nice.
I think I pretty much agree with everything you said. You articulated my thoughts about the film perfectly. I fucking loved it. So yep.
Nice.
On to you.
My 9th pick, Dools, is Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame.
Nice.
Holy shit. Again, if this was any other year, this would be number 1.
Yeah.
Like 110%.
Yeah.
I adored this movie. They did the impossible, the payoff of 11 years it's been?
Yeah.
Started in
2008, so yep.
11 years payoff, like 23 movies, to the day. And they did it perfectly. Like, there is no way it could have been done better. Yeah. There is no way it could be done better. Yeah. And, like, the end...
Hulk vs. Thanos would have been nice. But, yeah.
That's true. 99%. Yeah. But, I thought it was amazing. The end fight scene was incredible. All the characters had their moments. Fat Thor was hilarious.
Fat Thanos. Yeah.
But I thought it was great. What do you think?
I fucking loved Avengers Endgame. It was just fucking constant smiling. It was fan service, but done right. Looking at you, Rise of Skywalker. Fucking... Sure. Like, the Cap picking up Mjolnir moment, that's one for the fucking history books. Like, the cinema went ballistic. Like, everyone lost it. This was a moment which I was somewhat anticipating, especially when halfway through the film, Thor takes Mjolnir back with him, and I'm like, here we fucking go. Now it's back in the timeline, like the hammer. It's like that was the only one reason why they couldn't pull off that moment on screen. And so I was like, so I saw it coming. But because you're so wrapped up in everything that's going on, it kind of like goes to the back of your mind. And then, so when it finally happens, you just like, we freak the fuck out. Like, and so when a film can do that for you, and when it's got such an emotional payoff after all that time, and it nails the landing. I mean, fuck, man. I mean, yeah, it was so fucking good.
Dude,
it was
I remember
so good.
I still like that was the best cinema experience I've ever had, and I think it's the same for you.
So also as a quick point of reference, we saw Rise of Skywalker midnight session. There were a few laughs and cheers.
Yeah, it wasn't even...
I don't think there was even a huge cheer at the Lucasfilm logo like there normally was. Like, not that I can remember.
I think it was a cheer.
Because there was
definitely a cheer for the Star Wars coming out.
I feel like it was fucking palpable with episode 7 and 8. And
no, I agree.
Yeah, anyway. But I think, testament to Marvel, 11 years on.
Yeah.
And people are only just getting more and more amped.
Yeah, so. Literally the bit with where the portal started to open, and
on your left,
and there's like
chills.
The woman next to me,
fucking chills.
The woman and her boyfriend next to me, like the woman's just like, "What is that?" And then and the guy's just like not answering her, and he's like, and then the guy's just sitting next to me, and it's just like, Cap, it's Sam, and the guy's like, "Shut the fuck." No way. I was just like,
and Cap's kind of like touching his ear, and it's just like on your left, and I'm just like, because to put that to, so when they do the snap, it's like, okay, so everyone's come back, but I don't know about you.
You didn't realize.
That didn't immediately register. Like, yeah, Clint goes over to his phone, he sees his wife ringing, and I'm like, oh, wait, so what? And then before we even get a chance to react or anything, the fucking Avengers facility is completely blown to shit. And now
that was a perfect way to say that it might have worked. It's like your phone's ringing from your wife.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And but you don't really get a chance to digest that moment because things move so fast from then on. And the third act is like, everything moves a fucking mile a minute. And so that's why when the Sam moment happens, that was a realization for me that everyone was back. And I was just like, oh my god.
Dude,
and
it's exactly what Doctor
pulled off.
The exchange between Doctor Strange and Wong was like, is that everyone? It's like, you wanted more?
Yeah.
So
Wong looking visibly pissed off. Like,
so good. Friend of the show, Harry Dools, one Jim.
Jimmy.
The Jimmy. Hey lads, my favourite film of the year is Avengers Endgame. It felt like a chapter of my life was summed up fantastically.
Wow.
Summed up, it's a short and sweet.
I'm not going to argue with that one, Jim. I appreciate your input, friend. Yeah, I actually have no beef with that one at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Avengers Endgame was fucking awesome.
Okay. What's your number, Eagles?
Plus, he also liked Venom, so I mean, how much can you really expect from him? I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. So my number...
You can't let anything go.
So my number 8 was Avengers Endgame.
Oh,
so there you go.
We're nailing this,
Yep.
Nice. Well, my number 8, a little film called Ad Astra.
Ooh!
What a film.
Yeah.
I coined this film...
Apocalypse Now meets Space Odyssey.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Apocalypse Now in space.
Yep.
110% is. The journey that Brad Pitt goes on to find his father is, like... It's so captivating.
Yep.
And the whole film is gorgeous, and there's so many little ideas that they bring up of like what the near future could bring if we could like perfect space travel, of like capitalizing the moon. Amazing idea.
It's so cool how like he lands on the moon and like you see like a fucking
Starbucks.
McDonald's and shit. Yeah, and it's like oh my god, it's so true. They would corporatize the fuck out of the moon if
110%.
Like you just immediately. I bet there are corporations right now figuring out like it's like Amazon space hotels. That's like a thing that's happening, and I bet you've got fucking board meetings happening where it's just like, how do we get up there?
Yeah, exactly.
Should we get up there? We should get up there.
Let's get up there. Let's get up there. Yeah. But I thought it was awesome. I loved Ad Astra.
Ad Astra was
beautifully directed.
Ad Astra was amazing. I think Brad Pitt, at least he is getting a nod for his acting exploits in 2019. He won Best Supporting for Once Upon Golden Globe. I actually think his performance in this is worthy of a nomination for Best Lead. I actually do. I think he was really good. I mean, it's just such a serious and somber performance, and like. Just like some of the shit he goes through and realizing his father is still out there and things like that. And you got Tommy Lee Jones, who is just fucking awesome as this like unhinged kind of like hermit of a man who, you know, has clearly just like he's so stubborn in his ways and his ideology, and I don't know, man. I mean, like, there's a deeper metaphor for the film, but I was just floored by the visuals and the cinematography and Brad's performance, among other things. Some really cool scenes. Like, it's like slow pace but fucking tense as fuck at the same time. Like the moon rover chase scene. It's really fucking cool.
Space pirates.
Yeah, it's
unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And like these people kind of come out of nowhere. Like they're not even like antagonists. They're just like random space pirates, and it's like, holy shit, like space pirates on the moon. Fuck yeah. And really fucking cool movie.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agreed.
Yes.
That's my number 8. So what's your number 7, Bill?
My number 7, Ad Astra.
Boom.
So, let's keep the ball rolling.
My number 7, Ford vs Ferrari.
Oh, cool.
Loved it.
Perfect.
What a film.
My number 6
Here we go.
Now we're really moving up.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Joker is number 6 for me.
We're getting to it. We're getting to it.
This, okay. So we now know the Golden Globes have aired. Joaquin Phoenix won Best Leading Actor.
Yep.
For Joker, and I don't disagree with that. That's I think a safe pick because of how fucking enthralling his performance was. This was a film when first announced that I think almost everyone was in unison saying, you know, DC fans and non-DC fans alike was like, this doesn't need to fucking happen. What?
Yeah.
You're giving the one villain, probably, arguably maybe the best comic book villain of all time. You're giving him the backstory that no one asked for, that no one needs, because like part of the allure of the character, and which is why still, you know, another iteration, Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, part of the allure is that we know fucking nothing about him. We don't know his ambitions, his goals, his motives, like, and that's why he's so fucking terrifying, because he's just this enigma that just has no reason to be doing what he's doing. And, you know, as Alfred puts it perfectly in The Dark Knight, you know, some men just want to watch the world burn. And somehow this film managed to give us that backstory and give us some motives and reasons behind why, you know, Arthur Fleck, who he is who he is. And yet it doesn't take away from the character at all. It adds to the mythos. It adds to the character, and all in a good way. And I was like, I couldn't believe that they pulled that off. On top of Joaquin's incredible performance. And I don't think the film could be nearly as good as it is without him. It's definitely piggybacks on his performance. Like, the plot is pretty much, deranged man who lives with his mum finds out he might not be who he is, tries to become a comedian, blah, blah, blah. Like, that kind of that is second place to Joaquin's performance, because he's front and center in this film. And because I don't want to go into story details, just in case, you know, if you haven't watched it yet, this is a must watch, and you don't really want to know too much about it either. So
I adore Joker. Yeah, I think Joker. I think This Is Joaquin's Year. A massive shout out needs to happen to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Soundtrack is impeccable. The cinematography is beautiful.
Yep.
Joaquin steals it. Like, he just knocks it out of the park. He makes this film new. You know, like, we've had so many reiterations of the Joker, and we're like, who's he gonna look like now? You know.
Yep.
It's completely new. He might be the best Joker. He might be.
I can definitely understand the argument.
It's in the conversation.
It's always going to be Heath for me for other reasons, because The Dark Knight is just an impeccable film from my perspective. That's fair enough. But but to be honest, like, I can't really scoff at that opinion, because it's like it's such a fucking good performance. But it's also a very different Joker.
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
very, very, very different. Because you've got the Batman Joker, which is what Heath is, and you've got Joker without the Batman, which is Joaquin's. And I think you leave this alone. I think there is sequel talk, but I think, like, you know, hopefully, you know, like other very steadfast creatives, Todd Phillips and Joaquin are like, if there's a story, if there's a good reason to come back. And
listener Hugh has wrote in Dools. Says, lads, Joker is my favourite movie of the year. No movies made me feel that uncomfortable, and I loved it. Pure film mastery. That and the fact that the cinema was evacuated for false alarm right at the climax, which fucked with me big time.
What? So, Hugh, I never mind here. Part 2, did you finish it? Did you get to finish it?
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll message him.
Well, you got to imagine he went back to watch it a second
Yeah,
time.
if it's his movie of the year.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's leave it up to mystery.
All right. I like that. We don't need to know everything.
It's true.
Just like, was Arthur Fleck the love child of Bruce Wayne and his mother?
Who knows?
We actually don't know, and that's fine, Has. You know what? That's actually fine. Has... Oh, well, yeah, it's now yours. Yeah.
That's your number 6?
Yeah.
My number 6, Dools. Just got out of my top 5.
Oh, dearie.
Martin Scorsese's The Irishman.
One second, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have to take a quick break. What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? You piece of shit. You don't know. You don't know cinema. You're doing a movie podcast. You don't even know a fucking good movie. It slapped you across your dumb fucking face. You've paused this, right? Oh man, you're a fucking piece of work. Please continue.
I loved The Irishman.
Oh Jesus. Just come on.
I love The
Making
Irishman.
excuses.
I think it's a masterpiece.
This is your number 6.
This is my number 6. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. I thought the acting was beautiful. It was exactly what we wanted when we got the holy quadrilogy basically together with Scorsese, De Niro, Pacino, Pesci.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in some Steve Zalian writing, beautiful, and throw in a little bit of Harvey Keitel, unreal. Thought the mobster story, it's his bread and butter. It's what Scorsese does best. I think it's one of his best.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it is his best yet. For me, it still might be Departed or Goodfellas.
Yeah, out of the mobsters? Because your favourite Scorsese is Taxi Driver, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Out of the monsters.
Yeah.
But fuck, what a film!
Hmm.
Like, we saw it in the cinema. I think that's the perfect way to see it, even though it's a Netflix movie. I think it's the perfect way to see it.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did. Yeah. Pacing is beautiful because it flew by, at least for me.
I know, same with me. I felt like a 2-hour movie.
Yep.
And it's three and a half.
Yep. Seeing all these people whinge about, the length and stuff and having to fucking pause it and, watch over a week and shit. But we'll happily binge a fucking 8-episode, 10-episode series. Shut the fuck up.
No, I thought it was excellent.
It's obviously on my list, but a bit higher up. I'm going to get into details of mine a bit later on. So I'll just move on to my 5th for the time being.
Friend of the show, Jack, wrote in and said, "Boys, my favourite movie of the year is The Irishman."
Good boy, Jack.
Because
good man.
I really love the swear words. That's all he said.
Fair enough. Hey, I accept it.
Good boy, Jack. Good boy, Jack. What's your number 5, Dools?
Holy shit, I can't believe that's your 6. That's actually fucking insane. But anyway, that's all right.
That's
why we have opinions, despite them being terrible.
I said it's a 10 out of 10.
Now, has number 5 for me, and this is tough, man, because this film is, again, you said it earlier, not all of these are 10s for me, but I think now we're getting into the 10 out of 10 territory, for me at least. My top 5 are all 10s, in my opinion. Ooh, it's Parasite.
That's 5 for you? That's 5?
You only just saw it, mate, you fucking pretender.
Oh my god, Dools. Just because it's got an inch of subtitles, you put it as 5 and not 1. Fuck you, Dools.
Alright, my little rant was better. Because it was genuine. This is... Man, what a fucking extraordinary kind of curveball of a film. Despite going in not knowing anything about the film, you kind of it sets itself up as a poor versus rich dichotomy kind of film. Just contrasting the differences between the two lives. This is a Korean foreign film, by the way, so it's set in Korea. But this does I think its themes shine above its setting and everything because a lot of people can relate to what happens in the film, and it kind of sets up this premise, which is interesting. How the young boy, not young boy, the young adult in the family, kind of is welcomed into this household, this rich household, because he's going to become the tutor for the daughter in the family, and he makes himself comfortable and kind of like gets a taste of this life, and it was like, well, how can I extend this pleasure to the rest of my family? And I won't say anything beyond that because then you could spoil the premise, but I think
could say he's a parasite.
You need, and it's interesting because both sides are parasites. But anyway, there's like a twist after twist, but they're well done and they're earned, and it's a fucking fascinating watch, man. It's a character study of these two families, and like, favorite character is the dad, by the way. The dad's awesome. Like, so funny, so fucking funny. Oh man, yeah, because I don't want to get too much into the plot because this film is still running. It's been on since September, so I think
it's still selling out cinemas.
I
saw it last week, right?
You get there in time, by the way, for your session?
It started like...
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome. It started like 30 seconds after I sat down. It was like perfect timing.
Whoa. Decent seats.
Beautiful seats. Nice. It was like hardly sold. It was like 10 tickets
perfect.
in that cinema.
Yeah, the Shawville is like not enough people know about it. It's a cool cinema.
Unreal.
They've got like two within like a couple kilometers of each other, which is weird. But so I mean, yeah, Parasite's definitely on your list. So do you want to talk about it? No?
Parasite's, I think it's a phenomenal movie because it takes a right turn so fucking hard during the film.
Oh yeah.
I think it's amazingly acted, directed, and written. It's written so
this is now the Bong. I want to get his name.
Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho. I want to get his name right. Yep. I think he's entered now the pantheon of directors for me, where it's just like I'm going to be watching like a fucking hawk what this guy does now. There's already actually rumors that him and Adam McKay are teaming up to bring Parasite an English adaptation to HBO. That's interesting. If he's attached, then I'm interested.
Yeah, he has to be attached for me to be interested.
But I mean, yeah, oh my goodness. And this guy's already made some incredible films. He's done Okja, Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer is a phenomenal
film. There are a bunch of other films I'm definitely going to want to go into his back catalogue because he's actually collaborated with the guy who plays the father on the poor side quite a bit. He's in a lot of his older films.
He's in Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah. But he's like the lead. There's like he's done a murder mystery where he's like a detective, that guy, and
nice.
And it's like, oh my god,
I
gotta go see what else he's done. So man, what a sleeper hit this film was. I mean,
I don't want to say anything about the story because
because that's all that film has. I mean, it's just such an excellent plot. Like not to put the characters down. The characters they drive the plot forward.
But like this is such a unique.
This is so well written and like, oh my goodness, yeah.
Fan of the show, Timo has written. Timo's written in. Says, boys.
The Timo. How'd you reach out to him?
I got my sources. It's like, boys, Parasite tops it for me.
Nice, Timo.
Brilliant writing and execution. All around bangers and mash. Top-notch acting, and the twist threw me so off guard it gave me goosebumps. Happened exactly as I was starting to think that something's off in this scenario.
Yeah. Love that, Timo.
Beautiful.
Also good to know that you're not the racist I thought you were. It's touch and go there for a second. But,
Jesus.
Jesus. Just kidding, we all know which group of people you don't like. So Haz, should I it's yours.
5. So my number 5, Dools, is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Any need to respond there, Dools? I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought it was one of Tarantino's...
No, it's one of those years, man. It's one of those years.
That's it, dude. Like,
take it away.
If this was last year, like, Irishman would be number 1.
Yep.
If any of these movies came out another year, they'd be number 1. Once Upon a Time is not only one of the best films of the year, it's one of Tarantino's best films of his whole career. I think it's written perfectly. It's casting is impeccable. So much to a point, I think you can agree with this. So it follows Rick Dalton, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, LDC, and some of the movie scenes that he's in, you're starting to get drawn into them. I'd fucking watch every show that he's part of. Yeah,
so there's a section where a good chunk of the film is like him on set on the set of a TV western, and I was starting to get sucked into the actual meta show of this western, and I'm like, and I forgot there was another film actually happening around me, and I'm like, oh, like this is just a testament to Tarantino's writing, DiCaprio's acting, and Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah,
And the last 20 minutes is phenomenal. Like,
just full blown Tarantino bonkers fucking craziness, and oh my god.
yeah. What did you think about it?
I fucking loved it.
Yep.
It's obviously on my list. I think I'm still kind of reckoning with, is this Tarantino's best? It actually still, I think, because I left the cinema and I said to you, like, I think it's his best. And I still kind of do feel that way. But again, that could change. Like, Pulp Fiction was previously in that number one spot for me, and that I could watch Pulp Fiction tonight and be like, oh yeah, it's probably Pulp. So I mean, it's that kind of thing where, like, I'm not sure, but DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, they drive this thing, and you know they're phenomenal. Tarantino obviously is just a master of dialogue. Like, he's probably one of the best out there. And yeah, I mean, but I was just so drawn in by, like, it was literally like a time machine to the 60s.
Yeah, it was.
And like Brad Pitt driving down Hollywood Boulevard, you've just got the soundtrack and his car like taking on this journey, and I'm just like, man, I'm
the soundtrack.
I'm in this, bro. Like, it felt like Blade Runner 2049, where it's just the film and like the cinematography is just so good that I'm just like, I've literally been transported to this place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm living it. I'm not watching this film, and I'm experiencing it.
An amazing crowd we saw it,
and
by the way.
Yeah.
Crowd added to it.
I went a bit too nuts at that last scene.
Oh, dude, it was unreal.
Like, that's gonna be one of those scenes where I'll just go to YouTube to watch Brad Pitt just fucking nail that cunt with that can of dog food.
So
like,
good.
oh, it's just too fucking good. But
and
Leo Torch, yeah.
So, nah, it's still better than that. It's so good.
So I mean, yeah, man. Like, oh, it was just that's what that film was. It was an experience, and I fucking adored it.
Listener Max writes in, Dools.
Yeah.
He's got a big one here. He's got a big one. Strap yourself in. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Dear Harry, Dools, and fellow mall cops. First off, there's only 2 mall cops. The rest of them all force. But it's okay, Max. We can continue. My answer to film of the year is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, closely followed by Joker in 1917.
Very good choice.
My reason why are as follows.
Ooh.
1. Brad fucking Pitt.
Yep.
Tarantino with the ultimate example of show don't tell. You don't need to be told he's a badass. You know he's a badass right from the off. Charming, funny as hell, and quite possibly a cold-blooded murderer. It's true.
Yep.
The ultimate,
he did it.
the ultimate Tarantino character. To stop midway through, Max, we'll go back to it. Touching what he said, the cold-blooded murderer. There's a point in the last scene, I remember during our first scene, and he just turned to me like, dude, he totally killed his wife.
Yeah. The way he just happily beat the shit out of those women, it's like, ooh, he did it. He did it. Yeah.
Number 2, the dialogue. It's a Tarantino movie, so of course the dialogue's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, the Manson family scene. Most suspenseful scene I've seen outside of a horror movie in ages.
Yeah, it was fucking had me on edge.
Until I watched 1917, which we'll get to.
Ooh.
Number 4, the final fight scene. It doesn't quite feel like a proper Tarantino movie until the ending. No gushes of blood, no feral screams until the final fight, where Tarantino unleashes all that and more in one blissful, violent, fucking bonkers scene of madness and brutality.
All to the backdrop, I should quickly mention I think it's
Just let me finish this.
Yeah, no, sorry.
In short, I loved it. Hope this does the trick, people. Cheers, Max. What a good man that Max is.
All to the that scene, which I love, and you know, all to the backdrop of "You Keep Me Hanging On" from a cover by Vanilla Fudge.
Yeah,
go listen to that. Go Apple Music /Spotify that song, boys and girls, if you want to relive that beautiful scene.
Absolutely.
All right.
What's your number 4, Dawes?
Has my number 4. Is Jumanji the next? No, can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? Has my number 4 is Marriage Story.
Strong. Here we go.
Holy moly! I mean, so this is the triple threat. This is just phenomenal performances, great story, and
very
great script. Story. Probably if I had to give best script of the year right now, it would just edge out and beat Once Upon a Time for me, this script. Because
I'd agree.
It's just so fucking raw and real. And,
I think I'd have to agree.
And I'm like, so Adam, you've got Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson as the leads, and they deliver fucking career best powerhouse performances. Like, I mean, it's such a strong year that, you know, I mean, the fact that I don't even know if they were nominated for their respective roles at the Golden Globes. Okay, good, but it's that strong a year that, you know, it's just, I think like in another year, maybe last year, they probably could have won both of them. Mm-hmm. Driver especially, there's one scene in the film where he's like, oh, like, fuck, man. I was just like I sat up and I'm just like, you know, because I was just so in it. And like, this is a film about love, but it's, you know, it's about divorce, it's about growing apart, and it's about, you know, these aren't things we can relate to, you and I. You know, we haven't had a divorce yet. Well, not that you haven't. Have you been divorced or?
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up on air. But
man's gonna come to your door and give you some numbers later.
So I mean, yeah, you know, there's not really a story here to spoil. I mean, unless I like, you know, told you the ending, because it's all about the journey of, you know, it's like you're dropped in this kind of like, you know, part of these characters' lives, and you know, you kind of watch them, you know, go through the turmoil of having to, you know, experience like, you know, what it's like to go through this gut-wrenching kind of experience. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, it really does just come back to like the dialogue and the performances, and it's, I mean, yeah, it's an absolute masterpiece of a film. And I should say Noam Baumbach is the writer and director.
Mm-hmm.
He did Meyerowitz Stories, which is also on Netflix, and
Squid and the Whale and Francis Ha.
Yeah, and While We're Young as well, which also has Driver.
Yeah.
So he likes to collaborate with Adam Driver, and definitely another director I'm going to be keeping an eye out on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow.
Dools, my number 4 is Joker.
Excellent. Wow, nice.
We've talked about Joker. I bring it up again. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
For a while, it was number 1. I think it's perfect, and I think this is Walking's year.
Agreed. As my number 3 is 1917.
Yeah, it is.
I guess you can tell what my top 2 are. This was
Jumanji made that high.
It's crazy, bro.
Oh, wow. Hobson Shaw. Can't believe it.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Yeah.
Was Hobson Shaw 2019?
Yeah, it was this year.
Oh, fuck me.
No, 2019.
It probably wasn't an honorable mention, to be honest.
Let's be honest. Dude, he pulls out a helicopter by himself.
Jesus. Not even Captain America could do that. It's like, guys, come on.
He's the captain.
Yeah, this... so we only both just saw this this past week. Mm-hmm. It is... It is... Okay, so this is like... It's a fucking spectacle. It is a spectacle. Like, it is the very definition of the word. So they've
cinematography masterclass.
They've pulled off Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins, one of the best cinematographers that we have currently.
Yep.
Also did Blade Runner 2049, which we won the Oscar for. Well deserved. They've pulled off the impossibly difficult task
He might win an
of somehow he better. They've put off the impossibly difficult task of somehow filming this entire thing as if it is all in one shot. Because obviously it's not.
Which is not the main selling point of the film as well. It just adds to it.
Yeah, no, it's not. But it's just like, I wonder how you start that. It's like, I want to film a war film, a war movie, which, you know, has a lot of moving parts already. And on top of that, I want to capture it all in one, like, tracking shot. Roger probably takes off his sunglasses, looks at Sam and goes... You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Oh, dude, honorable mention for TV shows, Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
He was stacked. So you've got this incredibly personal... And I think they definitely couldn't have made it a big, sensationalist story. I think, like, how they approached it with the story, it's like a very small, intimate story of these two soldiers, one who's looking for his brother and the other is reluctantly tagging along, and basically, you know, the plot in short is that you've got to deliver this message to this colonel in the front line that if he doesn't stop his planned attack, they're walking into a fucking slaughter.
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler. This is literally the first
1,600 men.
Yeah.
They're all going to die if you two do not make it to this front line and get this message across. And so no pressure. And there's some twists and turns along the way, some things that I, because it's a true story, I'm like, oh, okay, so I mean, we can kind of understand how the story's going to play out, but there's still some things that really caught me by surprise, and but I think the main attraction still probably is how it's shot, the cinematography, the sound design. I mean,
the sound design
and the score, like.
Just a shout out to George McKay, the main actor.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable. He was a powerhouse. So I met this guy a couple of years ago.
Oh really? Is he Aussie?
I think he is.
And I think aren't they both Australian?
So the other kid is Tommen out of Game of Thrones.
Oh shit, that's where I fucking know him from. Oh crazy, yeah. Okay, so he's probably British then. But
yeah, he's British.
So the other bloke's
George
Aussie?
McKay's British.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I met him at Sundance Film Festival.
Cool.
He's in a film called Captain Fantastic.
I still need to watch that.
Oh, I think I got it on DVD if you want it.
I think it's on Netflix actually.
It's awesome. 100% recommend it. He's great in that as well. And I just got to talk to him about like getting into acting and stuff and working with Vigo back when he was doing that. And he's just like such a humble guy. And like just the way he talked about his passion of cinema to me is just like, yeah, this guy loves it.
Yeah,
this guy gets it.
That's awesome.
So I was like,
well, this will definitely give him his career a huge boost.
Dude, because this might get the fucking best picture.
So this, I think I'd be gobsmacked if this didn't get best cinematography. It's up there for score and sound design. Maybe better. I as good as he is, best actor I think it's already filled with.
I agree.
There's just so much competition. Best director and picture, I think, serious contenders. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is also on my list, a bit high.
And we should say, sorry, it did get best picture from the Golden Globes.
It did, yeah, for drama. Yeah, I agree. I think this movie is impeccable. This movie, like, I walked out of this and like, magnificent. Did you cry at all in it?
I think when he was talking to, no spoilers,
a person,
another Game of Thrones person, I was like,
I cried like a bitch.
I was like, fuck. I was
just
like,
the handout.
Shit, this is tough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This movie could be.
And what a small little cameo from that certain someone, and what a powerful one it was as well. Yeah.
Amazing.
Testament to his acting.
This movie could be renamed as A Real Bad Day, the movie. Like, everything that they go through, and it's almost in real time, where it's like, this is fucking amazing.
Also, another brief moment where he climbs out of the river and he just takes a moment and he kind of just, like, starts to break down. It's like, man, I felt that. Yeah. I was like, man, you've fucking been through it.
Yeah, dude, I'm exhausted.
And this is also, like, in a matter of hours, you imagine, like, kind of like a half day kind of thing, and he's just like, oh, yeah, but yeah, fuck.
I walked out of this and I'm like, this is why I fucking love movies.
Yep.
I was like, the way this was made, it is an art piece.
And thank God Sam Mendes was able to bounce back after Spectre. Because, nothing against his direction and cinematography, but I mean, in that film, it has other problems. But, yeah, man, another director. So, I mean, this is like the year of directors as well, who've come out of the woodwork to be like, yeah, I've got something to fucking say. And, yeah, Jesus Christ, man. I mean,
yeah, what, like, I adore this film.
Yep.
This is one of the best films of the decade for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think because I'm a glutton for war films. Like we've had a handful in the last few years because they're far and few between. Like the really good ones. So like Hacksaw Ridge, Dunkirk, Fury.
Fury's up there, yeah, for sure.
But this is like, I mean, yeah, this is like Saving Private Ryan level, man.
Yeah, I agree.
This is like,
I'm ready to see it again.
This is crazy.
Like just to
I almost just want to see it again, just to like
witness, just
and like from a and study it and just like and see how they did those things because I went in knowing that it was filmed as one shot. I was almost looking for where they'd make those little cuts.
So did I, and I saw some of them.
And so did I.
There's one that's like, it's obvious, where they change the time
but,
period. But like, there's other bits where they like go into a tunnel and goes like black for a second and comes back and then like.
And you imagine, but they really did do a lot of those takes once. Like the start of the film, it's like
it's 11 minutes.
I think it's like 11, 12 minutes, where it's like there are no cuts at all. It's like, man, like this would just be so hard on everyone. And just the moment towards the end where he walks out into the trenches and it's just the white sand everywhere. That's like one of the most. That's like shot of the year,
dude. Yeah,
like,
and there was a bit
shot.
like in the middle where where he's in like a decrepit town at night and it's like on fire.
Oh yeah, when those rounds are going off and the lights bouncing off everything.
Oh,
fucking
dude, but like
stunning.
he like walks out into a courtyard and the whole like church is on fire and he just looks up and I was just like, that is a beautiful. That's a Roger Deakins shot right there.
Yeah.
Oh
Man,
so that was your number.
shout out to the Aussie, to the Aussie Roger.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is that your number 3?
That is my number 3.
My number 3 is Parasite.
Nice.
Talked about it already. Adored it. I thought it was one of the best twists I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And it completely took me off guard. And I think it's really well told. And it really should give a doorway into people really accepting.
I think it's broken new ground. Yeah, because we've already talked about it, obviously, but yeah, it's definitely broken new ground. We're going to see more foreign films and
absolutely
kind of like break out into the quote unquote Hollywood sphere and make it to mainstream cinemas and get mainstream marketing, and which is a great thing, I think. So yeah,
absolutely agree. What's your number 2, Dawes?
Has my number 2. My number 2. We've already talked about it, but it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Excellent film.
Yep.
Excellent film. One of Tarantino's best. Dawes, my number 2. It's Marriage Story.
Oh wow!
I know.
Up there. Fucking hell.
I know.
Okay.
I adored this film. This film ripped me apart when I watched it.
Yeah.
I thought it was so real. It was just magnificent. I thought it was some of the best writing I've ever seen.
Yep.
And it was so un-Hollywood. Like, there was a point to you where, like... I'm going to say exactly what I said because it kind of ruins it. But I was just like, I hope this thing doesn't happen at the end.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
Yeah. Or I'm like...
The cliche.
Yeah. I hope something cliche doesn't happen at the end. And it didn't. It really made it real, which I really fucking loved. I thought, I loved Marriage Story. I think I'd recommend that to everybody.
It's a film about, especially because coming from us who haven't really experienced the things that the characters have experienced in the film, but it would be fascinating to kind of like be someone who has and watch that film, because I reckon that would fucking destroy you. Like, to watch that film, because it is so real and raw. Like, if you're someone who's been through divorce or whatever, and or maybe if you've had parents who went through a bit of divorce, even, like, you would probably watch this and be like, you would probably struggle to watch it. It's that fucking real. And and Adam and Scarlett give just fucking crazy good performances. Yeah.
What's your number 1, Dawes? You go.
Has my 1, The Irishman.
Jungle. Okay, really? Okay, there you go.
We're done with the jokes now. All right. Okay. So that's crazy to me that this was 6 for you, but to each their own.
It's that time of year,
shut
Dawes.
the fuck up.
It's that time of year, Dawes.
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Ray Romano,
forgetting about Ray Romano.
Jesse Plemons. No, I'm kidding. Fuck those last 2 guys. They were fun. You've got the trilogy and then a quadrilogy, I guess, if we include Marty, the man Scorsese.
Absolutely.
Marty, say whatever the fuck you want about Marvel, man. You fucking deserved it. Like, you can say whatever you want. This film is the very essence of an epic. It earns its runtime and then some. It's a 3.5 hour runtime, and it needs every minute. It really does. I can't really think of anything that can be cut out, because the character development, all the exposition, all the backstory, and just the development of everything that happens in the film. I mean, it's so crucial and important, and you get so invested in these characters. Like, Scorsese just, I mean, yeah, you said it, like, he's bread and butter of the gangster films, but this is next level, man. I mean, like, I still don't know if it's my favorite of his yet, because it's Goodfellas for me currently, but I mean, it's a different kind. It's the anti Goodfellas, because Goodfellas, if you kind of look at it as like the happy-go-lucky, we're mobsters, we get up to no good, and like, we do crazy shit kind of movie. Like, it's a bit more fun and lighthearted in a sense, even though it's very fucking gruesome at times. This is the very real and raw kind of exploration of that kind of story, where it's like, we see this man throughout a long period of his life. So, I mean, I think it's like a 30, maybe 40-year span. 30 years, I think, is probably more appropriate, and we see it yeah, so it's like a cross-generational film, and we follow Frank, who is the Irishman, and Frank. Do we know his last name? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Just quickly, and so which is obviously led by Robert De Niro, and he meets Joe Pesci's character, who's like a mob boss of sorts, and then who later introduces him to Al Pacino, who is like a union man. Frank Sheeran, and you know, Pacino's Jimmy Hoffa, who's like a union rep / politician, and so the film gets very political at times. You know, it kind of clashes with certain big events in, you know, throughout history without giving too much away. But like the Bad Pigs plays a role in at some point in the film, and I'm like, fuck, this is. I mean, it's got everything. Like, and it's just. But what really stuck with me was that how. Yeah, these films, Scorsese's previously kind of taken like the lighthearted approach to these films. Like, you know, like look at Wolf of Wall Street. Like, yeah, this guy ended up in the shit, but I mean, look at the wild ride he had. It, you know, like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, he did some cool shit anyway. Like, you know, let's just go back to the cocaine and hookers. Like, you know, blah blah blah. But this was like, no, this is fucking serious. Like, this guy, towards the end, without giving too much away, but everything around him starts crumbling down. And like, you know, family, friends, like he almost loses it all, and it's like the message in the end is like, you know, does crime pay, that kind of thing, and you know, probably no, it doesn't. And I thought it was such a departure from how he's normally glorified these figures, these mobsters, and he did the exact opposite in this, and I thought it was fucking bold and like awesome, and I mean, yeah, it's literally an epic, and I mean, yeah, it might be his best work, so. I mean, yeah, it's easily film of the year, and I think it's like I think it should get Best Picture personally. So, yep.
Nice, strong Dools.
That is it. Thanks, Az.
Strong.
Number 6, man, you're a fucking joke. You're a joke.
Go fuck yourself, Dools. My number 1, Dools, 1917. Saw it last night.
Very nice.
It's
wow, and it just skyrocketed to number 1.
Straight up, like I was just like,
you don't think that could change?
I will maybe. Definitely, probably, but like I didn't make the call straight after. I made the call this morning. I was like, I want to sleep on it and think about it.
Okay.
Like even discussing now with you, like what we loved about it. I'm like, nah, it's my number 1, 100%. The film, the way that it's filmed, right? So it's all one. It seems like it's all one shot. It means that it goes straight into the action, right? They fucking straight on their mission. The first words are, "Hey, grab someone, let's go." It's fucking right.
Yeah.
And you straight up are so invested into this. The way it's shot, though, it's not just like, oh, it's cool because it doesn't have any cuts. It really just shows like you're literally just following them. You're just a passive. You're
also it's another one of those films where it feels like an experience, and because it's a war field, it's very fucking real. And
so
fucking
real,
and just tense and scary. And
when they first go into no man's land, holy shit!
Yeah,
like there's like the little things like is it a captain or someone that like shows them where to go, which part to get up on?
It's one of the captains.
Yeah, captains. He's just like, fucking good luck. He's
like,
He's like, if you get over there, fire this flare. We're kind of keen on these flare guns, so once they start shooting at you, please throw it back.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, it just shows how desensitized to death they become.
I know. World War One especially is like, you know, it's an oft forgotten war, you know, to the history books just because of how, you know, World War Two was just so much bigger in scope. But man, it really was. Actually, by the way, you really need to watch While We're Young, the World War One documentary Peter Jackson directed. It's on Netflix. Phenomenal.
Awesome.
Phenomenal.
I watched I watched the Kevin Hart doco series. Nothing like a World War One doco, but it's fucking good.
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, had no idea what you were talking about. So there's a documentary series from Kevin Hart.
It's a 5. Netflix made it. It's a 5-part, like 20 to 30.
Is it meant to be
episodes.
a comedy thing, behind the scenes comedy?
It doesn't paint him in a good
his
light.
life. Oh,
like all the shit that he's done, it's bad.
Interesting.
Like he's cheated on his wife while she was pregnant.
Well, he's obviously signed off on it. He's trying to make amends or whatever.
Yeah, well, he wants people to see him as human.
Okay.
Like all the stuff about the Oscars and shit.
You probably really like his appearance on Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah,
really
probably.
Good.
Yeah. 100% recommend it. But no, I agree. But 1917 it blew me away.
Yeah.
Like everything about it, I thought it was a magnificent showcase of how true cinema is done, like how the best of the best of the best is done. We're going to be talking about this film for years to come.
Agreed.
This is our generation Saving Private Ryan.
Whoa! Yeah, I agree.
It is. It fucking is.
Yeah.
And when some of these, like, I wish there was...
Also, I should say, don't go in expecting constant visceral action, like, say, from, Fury or Hacksaw Ridge. But there's... Oh, man. But there is something to... Which I think it did much better than Dunkirk as well. It was something to the more intimate stories that can be told during these times.
Dude, and you understand by the end of it why it was so intimate?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And there's, like... There's a fight in one part of the story at night in a building. You know what I'm talking about? Where you're like, there's like two elements to the scene at the moment. One's in the foreground, one's in the background, and you're like, you're fucking so tense.
Without giving too much away, there's also a moment in the film where the protagonist turns down what would have been a sure thing route to go save the boys, and he literally did a for the boys moment.
He did it for the boys. He did it for the boys. Jesus, a sure thing route.
You don't think it was?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, Dools.
She was begging him to stay as. Begging.
Jesus, Dools. Okay. But yeah, that's on that note, that's my movie of the year, Dools.
Wow.
It's one of my movies of the decade, if I'm being honest. I adored it.
It was astonishing.
It's absolute masterclass.
This really is one of the best years of film.
Yeah.
And mind you, we obviously did see this in 2020, but this is part of we have to selfishly, we have to go by the selfish US releases, and this was an Oscar contender, and so it's technically a 2019 film.
Yeah, my idea is if it can be nominated for the 2020 Oscars, it is a 2019 film.
But at the same time, because of other films like The Lighthouse and Uncut Gems, which come out late Feb, then we can't really go back and revise these. Plus these lists are already so fucking crammed. I couldn't possibly say
exactly.
But that's awesome to think that we've got two other Oscar contenders coming up in a month or so. Fuck.
And Bad Boys for Life.
Oh my god.
One last
2020
time.
best pick already locked in.
One last time. Shit, here we go again. Dools, sign us off. Our 1 year anniversary. We're 2 hours in.
Has we somehow made it an entire year? Were we here every week? Fuck no. But did we show up most of the time? Yeah, we did. So what numbered episode is this?
34?
34.
Or 35.
So we were here roughly 75% of the time. That's pretty good. It's pretty good attendance rate. It's not bad.
70%.
It's not great. 70%. It's not great.
It's
It's not bad. Look, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter. It's our New Year's resolution, if you believe in that kind of thing, to be more active on those platforms.
This is our 35th episode.
35th.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that 70% then? 75?
70%.
Okay.
Just shy of 70%.
Yeah. Yeah, our New Year's resolution or whatever to be more active on Twitter and Instagram. We've got something cooking with The Real Deal, which we'll get into.
You do
more.
the social shit. I just posted it.
I know. But...
What do you mean, our fucking New Year's resolution?
Okay. Well, all right. So, yeah, we look forward to serving you more. I think we're going to try to be a bit more strict with our schedule this year.
Yeah,
and,
let's do it.
Yeah, so, live long and prosper. I don't know. What the fuck do you normally say for these kind of things?
Till next time, we're off duty.